Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. I've enjoyed using Anchor. It is easy to maneuver. The followers have told me that it's easy to download and easy to follow. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it. Go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. It's your host, Keya McLean, poet, author, speaker, and self-publishing coach. Welcome back to the Healing Poetic Podcast. Thank you for coming out and listening to this podcast. This is the 4th episode. And the title of this particular podcast is Leaping into Your New. Leaping into your new. I remember when I decided that I was going to relocate from St. Louis to Dallas. And I remember how the decision was made even. And if I look back a long way, I'm not that old, long way to my childhood, I can remember leaping into a lot of newness, a lot of the new things that I would do, a lot of the new decisions and ideas. There was a leap. There was a jump. And one of the things that I definitely want to hit on is how important it is to believe in your leap. How important it is to believe in who you are, who you're becoming, who you'll ultimately be. And in order for you to understand who you are, in order for you to really feel confident in who you are, in your skills, in your abilities, in your talents, a lot of times you need to leap. You need to take risk. You need to believe in yourself. And you need to know that you believe in yourself. Because in order for you to believe in yourself, in order for you to trust yourself, in order for you to know exactly who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, it's hard to not trust who you are and leap and then expect others to do it. Or maybe not even expect them to do it, but someone is watching you. Someone wants to learn from you. Someone wants to grow because you grew. Somebody wants to push because they watch you push. Somebody wants to shift because they saw you shift. Somebody wants to do the very thing that you're doing. And you won't know it, and they won't know it. if you never leap into your new. So I'm going to ask you a question. Pose this question to you. You can think about it throughout the podcast. You can answer it immediately if you have an answer, or you can sit with it until you have an answer. So my question is, have you ever wondered what it must feel like to leap if you haven't? Taking risk and creating a life you've imagined or dreamed of. And I can admittedly say that there are times where I would watch others and think, I don't want to be like them, but I would love to be doing what I love like them. I don't know what the steps are, but let me do the work to discover ways to enjoy my life more and do so more authentically. So the initial question is, have you ever just wondered what it must be like to leap? Because all of us aren't leaping. Some of us are ribbit. We're doing jumps like frogs, and some of those jumps are small jumps. Some of those jumps are walks, actually. Some of us are crawling. We're just crawling, barely getting up and barely making it and barely doing it. So my question again is, have you ever wondered what it must feel like to leap? Do you want to take a risk? Well, here's one thing that I discovered in taking leaps into my new. Well, I had to dismiss the naysayers, the negative people, the hateful people, the judgmental people, the know-it-all people. I had to dismiss that. And I mean really dismiss it, not just say it, but actually dismiss those people. See, it's those people who will block you from leaping. It is those people who will try to make you feel like they are the only ones that can do it. The people who turn you into competition. The people that try to make you feel like you can't be as good as they are. But if I switch the perspective and said, you thinking that they think they're better, or you feeling like you're not as good, or you watching them and cringing and feeling like I'm not as good as them. I just gave you two perspectives. In the first scenario, there really are people like that who think they're the only ones that can be a speaker, only ones that can be a poet, the only ones that can be a coach. And then there are people who are poets and coaches and authors, and they want to educate others. They want to empower others. They want to bring other people up with them. But depending on what space you are, is how you'll see them. If you're in a space of emptiness and void, confusion, because you haven't leaped, you don't know what it's like to leap. So you end up resenting those who do. You end up feeling like they think they're this and they think they're that. When ultimately, because you're not a leaper, you don't understand what that looks like, what that feels like.